Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mr. Gig Work. My name is Dave, and I want to talk about some highlights from yesterday. Kind of change up the format a little bit and just go over some of the highlights that I noticed yesterday. And some of them will be pretty surprising, so stay tuned. Well, okay, let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is the subject of sometimes you gotta start somewhere, okay? So just some background. I usually do rideshare in the afternoons in Eugene, Oregon, and I live in Junction City. So what I do is I schedule a dash between 6 and 2 every day to dash in Junction City, and then I just dash from my house. This is just extra money for me. It's not a lot of miles on my vehicle, and if I'm not busy, then I just go home and take care of some chores, hang out with my wife, play with the dogs, that kind of thing. So yesterday my dash started at 6, and I didn't get my first offer until 8:15. Now the offer was to McDonald's for $5.75, and it was for 6.1 miles. Now normally I wouldn't take this kind of stuff, but you got to start somewhere. So I decided that, so I've never had a day where my miles were more than my money. Okay. So I just decided, well, maybe it's just time to get out of the house and get on the road, get a little closer to the hot zones and that kind of thing. And I'll make some money in the meantime. So I went ahead and took the order. It was out to Harrisburg. I picked it up and drove out to Harrisburg. And after I dropped it off, I got my second offer, and it was for $8.79. It was a Safeway shop and pay, 7.2 miles. So basically what it was drive back from Harrisburg to Safeway, shop, pay, and then drive the order back to Harrisburg. So I did that. So now we're at 13.3 miles and $14 and some change. Okay, so we're about even now. I don't mind the shop and pays. The one thing you can do to make it more effective, just a side note, is I don't hit the start shopping until I get inside the store, because they start the timer. Okay, so now is where the balance starts coming. And I think DoorDash does this on purpose. My next order was to Java Joy, which is the little coffee shop in Harrisburg, $5.75. And literally, the delivery address was 405.7 yards away from the coffee shop. Okay, so now my miles is lower than my money. So this is where I've caught up. Okay, and that was just because I took that first order and got out of the house, And then my next order, which is what I was counting on, was to Taco Bell. And it was $7.75 going 5.2 miles. Now, all of those miles, most of those miles were just the drive back to Junction City from Harrisburg. And then the order kept me inside Junction City. So now my miles to money is in my favor. And so sometimes you just got to start somewhere, okay? All right, so the second thing I want to talk about is hidden tips. This happened a couple times yesterday, and I want to run you through a couple of them, because it's important that you can digest the information that's being given to you by DoorDash. Okay, so I got an order to Safeway. It was a grocery pickup order. So the Safeway employees shop, and then you go and you pick up the order that they've shopped for, and you deliver it to the customer. No, so this is an order that is, it's requested by the store, but DoorDash gets to decide how much information to give the driver. Okay, so this was a $1 peak pay. All right, and the payout came up as $7.25 for 1.7 miles. Okay, so that's a no-brainer. That's an all-day accept. Let's do this. Okay, so $2.25 base pay, $1 peak pay, $7.25 order is a hidden tip indicator. Okay, so technically they're only hiding about $4 of the tip. Okay, so $3.25 plus the $7.25. So it's not a huge indicator, but what sealed the deal for me is if I get an order like this from Safeway and there's a possibility of a hidden tip, I look up and see how much the customer paid for the order. So you can do that on your going to your top left corner and hitting the 3 lines, and you can click on the Safeway section, and this is a screen that comes up, and this customer spent $226.22 on groceries. Okay, so that's a lot of groceries. So if this customer has any type of, well, they're spending a lot of money anyway on DoorDash for groceries through Safeway, or actually through the Safeway app, and having it delivered. So I'm thinking there's some sort of tip here. So I was going to take this anyway. So I went and I got the order. It filled 2 carts. It took me 2 carts. You know, luckily for me, I have a minivan, so everything fit in the back of my minivan. And then I drove to the customer's house. You call the customer for these Safeway delivery orders, and she was nice enough to open the garage door, and I just unloaded everything into the garage, just backed up to the garage door and loaded everything into the garage. And the payout was $23.25. Okay, so $3.25 is peak pay and base pay. So this customer put a $20 tip on this order. All right, so I would have taken it anyway, but there's your indicator. So $23.25 to deliver groceries, and I didn't even have to shop for them, so that's a good deal. Okay, so then a couple orders later, I get this order at Abby's Pizza. At this time, we're around a $2 peak pay. The payout was $8.25. That's what they showed me for 1.4 miles. Again, this is a take all day long. I'm going to take it all day long anyway. Okay, and so, but we do have our hidden tip indicator. You know, we've got $4.25 in base pay, so there's $4 that is showing up. And okay, so I got there, I delivered the pizza, and I got $10.85. Okay, so it was a $6.60 customer tip, and they hid $2.60 of the tip from me. Okay, from the driver. Now, this was something I was going to take anyway. I have no problem with that. But the next order I got was McDonald's. The next order in this category that I got, McDonald's, $9.75 for 4.9 miles. Again, this is a take all day. I'll take this every day, all day long. $2 peak pay, and it was going to Harrisburg, so 4.9 miles, and $2 peak pay, $2.25 base pay. So we're at $4.25. So this one was one of those $5 hidden tip indicator that, you know, really throws a flag up there. And so I drive out there to Harrisburg and deliver it, and the final payout was $13.25. Now that's a $9 tip, okay? And so they're hiding about $4 of that from the driver, okay? Now they say it's so that you don't cherry pick and that, you know, you kind of even out the orders and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm a top dasher. These were high payouts already. These were orders I was going to take already. And I just got rewarded with the hidden tips because I'm out here gaming. And the thing is, it all started with that $5.71 or $5.75, 6.1 miles that I took just to get out of the house, right? And then they just started flowing, order after order after order after order. Okay, and so at the end of the day, I had one more thing happen that was something that never happened before. Okay, so the third and final subject I want to talk about is stacked orders. Okay, so I got an order from Dairy Queen, $4.85 for 4.9 miles. Now this was another one where I was in Harrisburg driving back to Junction City, so most of the miles was that distance. Okay, so it wasn't that I was going to be driving a lot of miles to do the delivery. I was going to go drive the miles to Dairy Queen and then a little bit to the customer. And while I was on my way, they gave me this order to Subway. Now this one was $6.59, and it says that there was additional miles, but that was tacked on to that 4.9. So technically, there was no extra miles on this. It was being added to the Dairy Queen order, and it was adjusting the miles. And then before I even got to the Dairy Queen, they added this one to Bugsy's $5.09. It actually said it had some additional miles as well, but again, it was tacked on to the original. It was just not that much farther. And so I picked up the Dairy Queen order, and then I went down and picked up the Bugsy order, and then I came back up Ivy Street and picked up the Subway order. So here it is. I had 3 vendors and 3 different customers, and I had all the orders in my vehicle at one time, and then I had to go deliver them. And I did send a note to everybody that said that, it was stacked, and to let them know. But I wasn't late on any of them, which was really neat, because they do adjust your delivery time to make sure that you have enough time to pick up all the orders and still go deliver them. So this is the first time that ever happened to me. I've had stacked orders before. I had a stacked order earlier in the day, which was just 2 orders, and it was another Subway, and I got to the Subway, and they were out of something, so I contacted the customer, and they gave a substitution, and then the people at Subway fixed it. It was cookies, I believe. But then he added an additional tip to my pay. So I got $5 tip because of that. So be in contact with your customers. Let them know what you're doing. Let them know if there's an issue, why it's taking long. I mean, as long as they know, they're going to be okay with it. Okay, so it's good to have a lot of good communication. Okay, well, those are the 3 things that I noticed yesterday. So to recap, just when you're starting off your day, sometimes you just got to take an order to get started. Get on the board, get out there, let DoorDash know that you're there, that you're going to accept orders. The second thing was hidden tips. Be able to decipher what you're seeing on the orders. I did have one today that was $4.25, and I failed to look and see if there was any peak pay. I was sitting at my house, and there was a $2 peak pay, so that was a no tip order, and I took it. Shame on me. Clown knows. That person, it was a hand it to me and no cash tip. Miserable human being. I mean, working at a daycare center, I could say a bunch of negative stuff, but I'm not gonna. And then the third thing was stacked orders. Okay, if you don't think that you can handle them stacking 3 orders at the same time, you can decline them. There's nothing wrong with that. Just decline the stack and just keep the one that you have. And I honestly think that at that time of night, that all the other Dashers had gone home, and I was it. I was all they had. So it just gave me all of them. Gave me all the orders. I guess the Bugsy order had been sitting there for a minute, and the guy was like, "Oh, it's been sitting here," So, okay, so if you like this video and you like this format, just, make a comment. Give me a comment, and hit the like button. Also, hit the subscription button and the bell so you can get notified when I drop my next video. And if you have any ideas of what kind of videos you want to see, just let me know in the comments, and I will try and make videos that pertain to what you want to see. All right, well, we'll talk to y'all next time.